Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So it's a beautiful Monday morning. It was supposed to be snowing the first of this week, but as you can see, the sun's out. It's a clear day. I don't see no snow in sight. So what we're doing this morning is we're going to head over to my buddy Charlie's, and I'm going to grab his trapezoid ditch bucket because I am going to go dig a new ditch this morning for a customer, and Charlie told me that I could rent his bucket, so we made a deal on that, and I'm going to try it out. I've always wanted to try a trapezoid bucket. I've never used one before, and we're going to throw it on a 200 and go dig this ditch, and if we like it, we're going to build our own or buy our own. So I'm going to get this dozer off the trailer and take the truck over and pick that bucket up. We'll come back, we'll get it put on a 200, and we'll get headed over to the job site and get the ditch dug. So stay tuned. We got the bucket all put on. Quick coupler grabs it perfectly like it should, because this is a bucket off of another 200, just off a 200 zero tail swing, but it's all the same. So now that it's on there, we're going to get it loaded up. We're going to head to the job site. Well, we made it to the job site. I got unloaded, and I'll show you the plan. So what the plan is, there's a utility pole. We're going to track straight out to that utility pole, and we're going to make track marks. And then what we'll do is when we get out there, there's a big ditch. We'll start at that ditch, and we'll dig back this way. When we get to about where the excavator is sitting, I'm standing on top of the excavator to give you a better perspective of what's going on. Once we get to this point, then we're going to head straight over towards the road through this low spot right here in the middle of this low spot. Yeah, it's going to be at an angle, and yeah, it's going to suck for corn rows, but at least it'll be able to be farmed. There are tiles up higher in each side so that they got cover on them. They worked for 2 or 3 years, but they kind of quit working. So they decided that they wanted us to come out here and dig an open ditch. So every other year it's going to kind of suck because, you know, corn rows, you've got to stay on your rows, where with soybeans every other year, soybeans you just plant them and then you just mow them off and you don't have to follow rows or anything. So let's get started digging. We'll get out there to the ditch, we'll get everything marked out, and we'll start digging and see how we end up. Well, let's get started and see what happens. So we are out at the ditch, the big ditch now. Throw this dirt off to the side, and we'll bring the dozer back later and grade it off. As you can see, them wings, they dig tapered. So it makes a nice shape of a ditch as you go deeper. Have to move forward a little bit here. Put some dirt on both sides. That way we don't have a massive pile of dirt. Now we're going to dig pretty deep because we're in the ditch bank right here. There's a nice path here, so I don't want to throw the dirt on it. We're going to have to put a crossing in once I'm done. But once we get it moved away from the ditch, we're going to shallow up pretty quick. We'll run out of ditch bank to work on. Once we get out there in the muck, we're only going to be a couple feet deep. Now to get my grade, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a little bit of water back with me as I go. Not a lot of water, just a little bit. we go. We've got the start of our new ditch already. I have to bring my ditch bucket and scrape a little bit of this top of this ditch bank back right here, just because that ended up straight up and down, but that's no big deal. It's just going to be for a few feet right there. We're going to take this down a little bit more, get a little more water in the bottom of there. I'm probably going to bring back 4 inches of water with me or so. Go out there and shape that a little more. Yeah, that's looking nice. Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot. This is going to be awesome. And I'll already tell you right now, I'm going to build me one of these buckets. So I'm going to keep digging. We'll get a little video a little later on when we get into farther through the field. At least you got to see the start. Gonna turn out real nice. I also have to bring my ditch bucket to drag that down a little bit so Dad's strength don't have to push so much dirt. So I'm gonna keep digging and see how far we can get today. Well, we got through that high sand ditch bank. Now we're starting down the muck, and it's getting interesting because it's really soft down here. It's like working on a pillow. The suction of the bucket in the ground is something that I'm fighting, trying to shave my channel without getting it too deep. So I got to compensate for the suction of the bucket, drawing the tracks down. It's like working on a big pillow. I mean, it's the whole time it's working against you when you're trying to keep grade, because the heavier that bucket fills, the heavier it gets, the more it's drawing down on the tips of the tracks, and the deeper it's wanting to go. So I got to keep compensating that twice as much with the boom to keep it lifted up, so I'm not getting too deep. It's fun. It really is. So this ditch is turning out awesome. I love it. It looks great. So what I'm trying to do is I'm sitting that bucket in flat so that I can use it as a pad to kind of slide on to be able to support myself and take some material out. Just going very gently because sudden moves are a no-no. And you can kind of see from the video it's a rough ride. Well, that's because it's so soft out here. So I'm still trying to keep about 4 inches of water coming back with me. And as of right now, the pump's not running. So as soon as the pump's on, it's going to draw that water right down. And it should give us the perfect grade on our ditch. Everything looks good. Just go back, trim the top off a little bit just to so stuff not overhanging. One thing I hate about working in soft ground is your body is constantly trying to compensate for, the flopping around in the cab of the machine. And you try to hold your neck and stuff straight all day so you can stay on grade and concentrate on what you're doing. At the end of the day, your neck hurts pretty bad. It's a whole different world working in soft ground. A lot of guys don't understand it. They come out here in this soft stuff and it freaks them out. Like, oh, the excavator's gonna fall in, it's gonna sink. No, it don't. just got to know how to do it. Grew up doing this stuff. And I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want to pack all this in the bucket. So I just kind of get fluffy bucketfuls. Don't force it too much to fill up. This is sticky stuff. We got some marl, we got some peat moss. It's just real soft. It's all basically dead plant material from thousands of years ago is what it amounts to. It's organic. It's not actual dirt. It's like potting soil. And it's just so squishy. And another problem you fight is the weight of the excavator actually puckers up the ground under your ditch. So as soon as you move, your ditch goes back. You know, it kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of goes back down or comes up or just does really weird things out here. Let's go back, get a little, there we go. There's an old clay tile. Kind of wondered where that was going to be. I knew we'd hit some eventually. All the clay out here is junk anyways. It's all broke down from years of heavy traffic over it. It's not draining out at the ditch, so that's why this ditch is going in. Alright, I'm going to keep digging, see how far we can get. Well, this is what it looks like so far. I'm just getting ready to turn now and head up towards the road. I'm going to head right up through the middle of this low spot, and I'm not going to go quite to the road. I'm just going to stop at the end of the grass, and that's where the end of the ditch is going to be. So it ended up a hair deeper than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. The pump's keeping it drawn down, so it that'll just ensure that it keeps the water pumped out and the water will stay low in this ditch, so that's a good thing. So you can definitely tell when the pump comes on and when it shuts off, because when it comes on it pretty much takes all my water, and then you see just little islands through there, and when it shuts off it all builds back up, so that's a good thing. The only trouble I had was through that little ridge right there. That's water sand through there, and that stuff is almost impossible to keep the banks from sliding in. So I done what I could through there. We might have to come back with just a ditch bucket and touch that up, let that solidify a little bit and let the water de-water, and then we'll come back and touch it up. So now I'm going to head towards the road and get this one finished up today. Well, we are finally at the end of our new ditch project today. I've dug it all. About 3/4 of a mile I've dug today. That's a lot of digging. I moved a lot of dirt. And my arms feel like it. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. So we're going to finish out the end here. We're going to leave a little space between the road and the end of the ditch. We're going to leave about 80 foot. So you can get corn planter and stuff through, make a couple passes for ends. And really, it don't need to be all the way up to the road anyways. I got a little bit of a crook in it right here at the end, but it's pretty soft, and it's fighting the excavator, flopping around and stuff, so things got a little wild and it got a little crooked, but that's no big deal. You'll never know it in a year or two, once the grass grows on it. So I'm going to finish this one out tonight, and then tomorrow I've got, well, probably one that's about 1/4 of a mile to dig, and then I am finished. So So this project's done. Then we're going to move on to a big ditch project. Got to get it debrushed and part of it dug through a farm field. And then once we get through there, we're going to take some time off and we're going to go start farming. April 15th was my goal to start planting beans. Well, with the weather forecast that's been and stuff, I haven't pushed it. Haven't even got the air seeder hooked up yet. So we're gonna be into April before we start planting, basically, because it's already past April 15th. So that's okay. A lot of guys I talk to, they don't want to put anything in the ground yet anyways, because the soil temperature's just not there yet. And now they're talking snow for tonight. It's rained all afternoon. This morning, it was a beautiful morning when I got started today, and then it just went downhill all day. So seems like we're gonna have some nasty weather for a couple days. I wanted to fly the drone today and get some drone footage, but it was just too windy all day long, and then all the rain and stuff, I just didn't want to get the drone out and get it all wet. It's kind of strange how that's been working out, because plow days, the weather's kind of straightened itself out, and there was no wind the last 2 plow days, and we were able to get good drone footage. And the drone will fly in the wind. It's just that it fights the wind constantly, and it drains the batteries pretty quick. So that's why I just assumed just leave it in its case, and we'll get drone videos another day when we've got nice weather to get them in. So anyways, I think I'm gonna end this episode right here. I just got to slope the end of this ditch out a little bit, and then I'm gonna head home and get something to eat. Well, head to Mom and Dad's and get something to eat. No point in going home. There's nothing to do there. So anyways, if you like this episode of Dirt Grain Steel, give me a like and a subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Well, you don't even have to give me a subscribe. Just give me a like. Just give me a like. That'd make me happy. I would like to get to 5,000 subscribers by planting season, which I'm knocking on that door here pretty soon. I'm already at 4,900 and something, or I think that's what I was. 4,988 or something. I don't know what it was. But anyways, I think I'll hit my 5,000 by the time I start planting, or maybe mid-planting season, so we'll see what happens. Scrape this back a little bit. One more bucket, and I think we'll have it here. And there we go. That's the last bucket. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, and then I'm heading home. So thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.